welcome back to Crush Improv Plays D&D. I'm here with Al, Brooke, Jordan, and Dan. Unfortunately, Christine can't be with us tonight. And we're going to dive right back in. Dive, because we're near the water. Hey, look at that. And when last we left our... they were in a cottage with Lyra Tolliver. Having gotten past a mass of civilians, a mass of people who were surrounding the cottage, couldn't get past a certain area, a certain part of it. And Lyra filled the players in on a bunch of details. Do we need to recap anything for you guys? Do you want to go back over anything that has happened here?
Well, we're just resting, right? We ended up taking a big old rest and leveling
Yes.
up, and now we're just trying to decide what in the world to do from here. She has basically told us Grazit is trying to break free. He has been kept away by her and a couple of other very powerful people, but whatever they have done to try to contain him is not lasting. So I think it might be worth trying to figure out what they did and why we think it's not lasting as long as it should. And then we've got to figure out I guess our plan would be to just reset the ziggurat, because there's no way that we can defeat a demon once they reach the mortal realm. And the only way to defeat a demon, as Nim learned through her research, is to actually go into the abyss and defeat them there. And this is not probably something that we are leveled up enough to.
Kill them permanently, you'd have to be.
But it mentioned in my research that if you kill them in the mortal world, that doesn't do anything. They just end up back at the abyss and they're like, ha ha ha, I'm not dead, sucker.
Yep, but their existence is often about trying to find a way into your realm. So, I mean, it is not a guaranteed thing. These doors just don't exist. So
Okay, that's good to know. It also mentioned in my research that they're literally kind of almost impossible to kill because their resistance to almost all magic, and also most weapons do very little damage to them.
Okay.
So really, it seems like our best bet is just going to be to try to reset that ziggurat. From what I read, it doesn't sound like it's possible to defeat him.
So,
I'm looking at Andrew's face.
After reading my 960 words, I've come to the conclusion it is not possible to defeat this demon, and instead we must simply just try to close the ziggurat.
Yeah, Brooke, I think you're also able to connect some dots, or at least I will connect some for you.
Oh, thank God.
Between what Lyra had mentioned about there being some kind of earthquake out here, and your vision that you had had when you cast a divination spell previously, that the structure, the actual ziggurat, may have been damaged as a result of some kind of earthquake.
So it was just kind of chance?
That is the impression you get. Either that or, I mean, you're not there, you don't know, you can't know
but
what
I've
happened.
seen it, and it looks like structurally damaged by, okay.
Yeah. Where the genesis of that incident is unclear. Whether that was natural.
We still don't know why the water's glassy, right? Or it's just that we kind of just decided it's because we thought that, is he giving us visions, or do we know why the water's glassy?
You know it's an illusion effect of some kind, but beyond that, you don't know. You know, you can put two and two together that, you know, it hasn't been glassy since you left Saltmarsh. It started having this mirror-like finish as you started eastward. You know, you got to a certain point.
Who's our buddy that has sicked a little demon thing on us that we revealed, and then he was like,
that pirate.
It was back on Saltmarsh.
Yeah, I'll get
he
his
was
name.
like, something is on the bridge. What's on the bridge? And it was this little like gremlin-like thing that was like, hey! It was like my fine familiar, except it was more of an evil version. And we found out that was one of the dudes on Saltmarsh, the one that was like, oh, oops, you need one of my ships? Oh, that's totally fine. It was that guy.
I'm finding it here. I'm scrolling through our notes.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to confirm or not your assumptions there.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, you definitely had that encounter, whether or not you assessed who he was reporting to.
I think we did.
I believe it was Kaladek.
Yes. And then wasn't it Kaladek that gave us the ship?
Nope, that was one of the other counselors.
That was our counselor friend.
No, Laster is not your counselor friend. The counselor friend is Solmar.
Andrew Solmar.
He's one of
the
Kaladek?
Nope.
Kaladek
you can
is
miss last to give you the ship. Kaladek is just some wizard.
page
sorcerer.
bottom of page 6. Keledek.
K-L-E. There it is.
A-E-L.
Oh,
E.
he's
The audience would please turn to page 6 of your notes.
Yes, please.
Follow along.
he had cool items, and the Imp Master was Kaladek the Unspoken. He was ordered to follow us.
So,
By the way,
sorry,
Wizard
your,
Bad and Kaladek is probably
your
bad.
theory on Kaladek is what again?
I don't know. I didn't have a theory. I was more just like, hey, wasn't he a bad guy? I wonder if that relates at all. But we haven't heard from him for a while, so red herring. Don't mind me.
Not necessarily. I don't know that that's a red herring. Imps
Well,
are
don't
imps
say
are
bush.
creatures of the underworld, right? So Kaladek could very well be an emissary of our demon friend here.
True.
Was Kaladek at the orphan thing? No, he's only mentioned him 3 times, and that's it.
Wait, but I think we discovered with that's right, the orphans. We've discovered those things are bad.
Sort of.
they are.
We've been marked as Grazit's basically puppets, and he's using us to a means to an end, which is why our names are on them, and so is his name, so that all of his magic of like turning people to zombies doesn't actually work that well on us, because he wants us to be of clear mind, so that we can do the puppetry that he wants us to do.
But when we went into Tolliver's cottage, she said take them off.
That's right, because in that area, his magic wasn't working on anyone, so in fact it hurt to wear. But when we're around his magic, it actually makes us a bit more clear thinking, because he doesn't want us to turn into like his own little full-on minions.
So what do you think he wants us to do? Where is he trying to play us?
I think he thinks that we're going to get him to break out. I think he thinks he can trick us into breaking him out of his...
Okay, and how would he get us to do that? Because it's maybe if we're
Well,
thinking
he
like
thinks-
him.
He's been trying to trick us, right? He's been trying to make us seem desperate. He's been trying to make Joe John think that he's not loved by his wonderful goddess. He's trying to make you think that your lady is hurting and in pain. He's trying to make me think that I can't find a book.
He also, I think, wants us to be close to him, right?
Be close to him?
Well, he wants us to try and fix things. He knows that we are inspired, we're ambitious, we like fixing problems.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think he picked on us to go to that whatever we're going to do will backfire. And so far that's working. We're here.
Mhm.
He's drawn us here to fix whatever problem it is. And he's hoping our hubris will lead him to escape.
Yeah. Yep.
So is our plan then to get off this island where he wants us? He wants us here for whatever reason. Do we get off the island and go and find the ziggurat, which we have a pretty good idea? I think we do know exactly where it is now.
Yep.
Do we go there?
I feel like we could talk a little bit more with Tolliver and just be like, if you were us, what would you do? You know,
Yeah.
like where would you go? And because she obviously has defeated him once. And then
Okay.
maybe it should be you, Dan, who talks to her, because you guys are like kind of in love, like a little bit.
And just so you know, I picture Lady Tolliver looking exactly like Andrew, just with long hair.
Okay, perfect.
Not
I
too
thought you were
far.
going to say Marion.
Not awkward. Cool. So yeah, she's got her hand on your knee, looking at you bashfully, and serving coffee in the morning to anybody who wants some. So yeah, what do you want to ask her?
What's her Lyra? We plan on I think our next course of action is to head towards the ziggurat. Do you think that this is the right course for us at this time?
She nods and says, I would go if I could, but I am obviously trapped here. I'm sure you were here when this happened. I have given you the scrolls that we used when we originally activated the ziggurat, and I have told you of their use. I think that time is of the essence, and that his power only grows.
May we break you free from your hold?
I mean, you could, but I think that to do so would be to endanger the lives of these villagers. If I were to leave here, I think they would...
What's a few lives?
That's only about
Did you
80, 90
see
people out there.
Glonda? She burst that one person right into flames.
Yes, that does happen if they get too close, but they have learned their lesson.
Lady Tulliver, do you get the impression that once we kind of defeat the big bad guy, the little stuff will kind of solve itself?
Like a good side quest? Yeah. She says, I think that if the prison that surrounds Grazit, sorry, she doesn't say his name because she hasn't this whole time. If the prison that surrounds him can be restored, then his power will be snuffed out. Whatever influence he exerts over this isle and over the rest of the area will probably be completely diminished.
And you believe us capable to close the ziggurat?
I believe so, simply because it is not a matter of... The Enterprise is not as strong. It is about... My goodness. We're all getting the Amber Alert, people.
I didn't. I'm left out.
Well, it's an Ontario thing, I guess, yeah. What she says, if it is a matter of simply repairing it... Everybody at home, please check your
User contact for everybody. Where are we?
Yeah, she goes on to say that it's basically about repairing it rather than creating it from scratch.
Okay, great. Okay, cool. Well, then let's go do it. If she's into it, I say let's go repair the ziggurat.
And the scrolls that we have that you've given us, if we read these scrolls, that is what if we follow them, that will allow us to repair the ziggurat.
Yeah, she has given you a hastily hand-drawn map, which I have not yet created. It'll be great. But essentially, it illustrates 4 chambers that she's recalling when she went, essentially how this worked. And she was in one of the chambers, and it was important that everybody read their scroll in time with each other. So there was a 5th person. All the chambers kind of go off of a central chamber. They all sort of came off in 4. And that person literally counted them out so that they would be in sequence, and then the magic would be cast all at the same time.
Should we practice right now, just making sure that we've got our unison speak?
Okay, yeah, go.
I think we need a suggestion first. Andrew, can you give us a location?
Sure. How about the word Stroll Canada? That would be something that everybody knows.
No. What's the name of our scroll?
The name of your scroll? Oh,
yes.
Dear. This is also something that was going to come up later.
Just make it up. It doesn't matter.
This is called improv.
Yes, I realize that. Let's see. What's the word that's on my desk here that I can easily draw from? Sorry, you want to know the name of the scroll?
The name of the scroll to inspire what we're about to do. Yes.
Okay. So this is the scroll of harmony.
Great.
The first one.
Oh,
your
people
need
to
live
in
harmony.
There we go. We're good. We got it.
Brilliant.
So
Got it.
set.
She claps slowly as you go through this.
We're so set. Thank
We're ready
you, Andrew,
for Yuck Yucks 2.0.
And in a very office-like type setup, she just looks at the camera and goes,
So she gives you some food that she's got. She says, I know it's not much, but I hope it reminds you of better times. And
it's not much. You gave us like 1 protein
John.
to
Yeah.
split.
It's very little. It might last you a couple hours.
These things are good, these new protein balls, but between the 4 of us, I don't know.
John.
She said it's not much. She admitted it.
You didn't need to acknowledge it. You gotta.
Thank you, Lyra, for your generous offer of food. I know that you're potentially going to starve here in your cottage.
Yeah, you literally gave us your final crumbs.
I am really sorry for my brother.
She has a whole case of these protein balls in her pantry.
You've seen them.
Yeah, I opened the pantry. There's a box of 500. She gave us one.
Well,
She gave you
okay,
one.
okay. You know what? I'm with Joe John. Can you not spare like at least half a dozen per?
Oh my
No,
god.
that's fine. All right.
So you make your way back into town. As soon as you go outside, you see again the phalanx of villagers surrounding the cottage.
Nice use of the word phalanx.
Indeed, it's like a Roman army.
Mhm.
And they watch you with cold, empty eyes as you emerge, and you approach the boundary that surrounds the cottage, where this invisible field seems to separate the effects of the cottage from the effects of whatever is happening on this isle. Tell me how you would like to proceed from here.
All right, I'll watch Norman.
Well, I'm going to test the boundary. Like I'm going to put my finger against it. What happens here?
Nothing.
Or I'm just going to walk through and see if they'll let me through. I'm doing it.
They do. They do allow you back through.
There you go.
They as you approach, they sort of shuffle a bit and make a little opening for you to go through.
One of you
Then on
needs
the
to
way
take.
in.
One of you needs to take Norman, just in case they attack him. Put him on
How
your
would they
shoulders.
attack him?
Because you're not one of the chosen ones.
No. Right. Thanks for reminding me again.
Okay, I'll put Norman on my shoulders.
Thank you.
You pass through the phalanx of people. They do not attack you. But you do start to have a feeling like as soon as you pass through that threshold, whatever warm and fuzzy coziness you had being in that cottage gradually fades away within about 30 seconds and is quickly replaced with kind of a slight buzzing in your brain.
Okay,
Nice.
go
This is
back.
everybody except for Gnorman.
Put the thing back
Who
on.
just gives them the finger as we walk away. Just like,
Yeah.
I'm
Eat it.
putting the bracelet back on.
Yeah, we'll put our bracelets back on.
We're gonna
Okay.
put our magic Fitbits back up,
Excellent. Yeah, as soon as you do, that feeling goes away.
and then we all take them off again just to make sure.
And the feeling comes back.
We
Yeah,
put them back on.
Feeling goes away.
Can I take Norman off my shoulders?
If you want. It's really about
You
if you
could
want
try.
to. Yeah, he's good up there now.
what is it? What would it be? An acrobatics saving throw?
I think if you want to stay up there.
I'm not leaving.
Yeah. He's found his new command perch.
Joe John, can we just leave him on your shoulders?
That's fine for the next little while.
It's just you
I'm
move
strong.
faster that way.
He was ready to do his roll. You can see him. He's like ready to click.
So you make your way back into the village. As you approach, Governor Emel is Governor Cal? Boy, I should really read my notes more often.
Well, there's
They
just
have
a
a lot of-
different election, so.
No, it could have changed. Could have changed. Cal Emel. I got it right both ways.
Cal. She's the one to be like, she somewhat has her wits about her because she's important to him. She's a bit more of a higher tier puppet.
Yeah, and she's there watching you. She's outside her house as you wander back up the path to the main body of the village, and she watches you come up, and she gives you a low, solemn nod as you approach, and says, "Did you find it out there?
Why was it hidden?
It's evil."
Well, then no, we found nothing evil.
She accepts your word. How can I serve you?
What evil thing are you referring to?
I know not what lives in that foul house, but we have been ordered to make sure that it does not escape.
Is there anything we can say that would suggest to you that you wouldn't have to do that?
And she sort of looks at you and ponders this and says, the master has told us of this great evil. I do not know how you could convince otherwise.
That's fair. I mean, your master is literally the epitome of evil, so if he thinks that that's evil, that's honestly a compliment.
She processes that and says, yes.
Ah, good.
We're all on
Well,
the same page.
we'll be going now.
The ship has been laden with supplies. I understand the crew has already moved back to the ship to put it underway. They await your return.
All right, well, I wish that one day your lord will no longer have his powers over you and that you and I can play a good game of chess one day.
He says, I do not know if you would want to return here if the Lord were not present.
She gives her a very intense attempting to find that one little iota of who she truly is, and she just like looks at her and she's like, checkmate is coming soon.
And you have a sense that she's on Team Grazit right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That iota is not currently available. If you'd like to leave a message or call you back at its earliest convenience.
Nah. Nobody checks their messages.
Not on this aisle. So you wander back to the sort of the main square where you can see the docks in the distance. And indeed, you see Salwas is there. He's overseeing some of the last supplies. And the townspeople are in a pretty great mood. Everybody is, again, giving you that celebrity distance as you march back into the square. And there's some hushed tones, and you hear whispers of, they're going to the aisle. They're going. It's happening.
Yes. Your good lord will never see the light of day again if we can help it. Hurrah!
Hurrah! They come back, obviously not hearing anything you just said, but liking the hurrah part. And Salwas greets you as you finally get up the dock and says, all right, we went away then?
Yes.
Capital. They're all ready for you on board the ship. Crew's in pretty great spirits, actually.
We better check them for a magic spell when we get on, boys.
You take the launch back to
Good call.
the lazy Shebok, and you see a hive of activity. The sails are being unfurled, ropes are being coiled, ships are being made ship-shape, the last supplies are being brought downstairs, and everyone is super excited that you're on board.
May we please detect magic on these people?
Please. Assuming you're casting that as a ritual.
Yup.
So 10 minutes later, the whole boat and everybody on board seems to be in radiating a faint amount of charm magic.
Dang it.
I guess enchantment.
They are. Darn. Okay. Can I? What did I prepare here? Oh, it's enchantment, right? So that
Yes.
dispel magic is not necessarily going to get rid of enchantment, and we know that the
And
enchantment.
I got remove curse, but again, if this is the demon doing his demon
Yeah,
things,
this is not going to
there's
work.
nothing we can do.
Well, look, we're playing his game. We at least are aware now of the game. I think no matter what, we have to go where we're going. If this enchanted cruise still takes us there, obviously he wants us there to do something. He's
Yeah,
hoping we're going to break it when we go. That's why he wants us there. He wants us there to finish it and break it. So we just have to be eyes wide open as we go. But I think he's taken over our crew maybe to ensure that we get there. There's no mutinies at this point.
Not Sand Ballot. That's the
Our
guy that we
captain?
killed.
The
Yeah, is
other
our
guy?
captain also enchanted a bit?
Salwas? Yeah, he's got the same effect on him as everybody else.
They're all just a little bit charmed by him. Wow,
And in the
that's
same way
amazing.
as the townsfolk. Is that right, Andrew?
Correct.
So did they also start talking about, oh, you're going to help us with the good Lord, or are they just like happy?
They're just happy. They don't seem to be as tuned in as the others about the actual specifics.
Okay.
But they are on board as far as going in this direction. Like, there's been no talk of setting course. Glonda maybe sidles up to Salwas and, they talk shop for a bit, but it's the only thing you get out of it is that it's likely going to be a 4-day journey. And Salwas tells you that before you even tell him where you're going. So
He knows exactly where yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just break with everything and go to let's just sail far away, the opposite direction.
Well, we'll just get stopped with the glass, won't we?
Kind of like when Andrew offered this quest about going to wine country, and I suggested we do something completely different.
yeah. Just take all those notes and throw them out the
Back
window.
in campaign 1 when I didn't know what was going on.
What happened? This was probably right before.
You know what? It was right before you came on board. It was the first campaign, and he was introducing it about this wine country place that was having not Saltmarsh, but what was the first place that we went?
Yeah.
Orlane. And about these problems. I'm like, yeah, well, maybe we should like head off in this direction though. And Andrew's like, no, I think you might want to go to.
I think it's a bit more subtle than that. I induced you with more reasons to go rather than do that. No.
I love it.
This is where the actual campaign is going to take place. Yeah,
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
There's a whole adventure there.
I picked up on it fairly quickly though.
Yeah, you're a smart guy.
Sometimes.
So it looks like we lost Jordan. I'm sure he'll be back imminently. So, they set sail. Is there anything you want to do before the ship leaves the area?
Kisses, telling people we'll be back again, and the next time we see them, we're hoping to see them on better terms.
Okay. Turns out Jordan's here. He's just bashful. Cool. They give you a huzzah as the ship furls sails, lifts anchor, and heads north. So, as you are sailing away, you have a bit of time to kill. And reading the notes here. There we go. Norman notices, as the ship sort of leaves the area, that Yellow Bells has begun to look a little worse for wear. Her skin is gray.
Yellow bells are starting to look like green bells. You know what I'm saying?
Like gray bells, yeah. Her skin is becoming a little gray and sallow. Feathers are falling off little wings. She's not as talkative and doesn't fly around a whole lot. But she still has a bit of internal strength about her, and that is, you have a sense that is the reason that you are not feeling the effects of the townspeople. But as you progress, normally the crew, when they're underway, like it's been your experience that they start getting into patterns. They get into little fights, they get into little arguments. Old wounds get opened, things like that. That does not happen. In fact, if anything, they start working together like a cohesive team and like, no, I'll get that for you. Oh, that's great for you, pal. And, they just seem animated and cheerful. And in the same level, their skin seems to be getting kind of sunburned and cracked. It's like they've been out in the sun, even though they really haven't. Like there's a fair amount of cloud and wind, constant wind carrying north. But for whatever reason, their skin seems to be suffering as the journey progresses.
Nimmerlin, any thoughts on that on your readings?
Well, demons are they're powerful. They're able to cast a wide net. The closer you get to them, the stronger they are and the farther their reach. And there's honestly very little I believe we can do. I mean, we can't even plead with him because he likes us. It brings him joy and he likes the power. So our only hope is that we get there and we can properly seal this because...
I have a wondering here. Are demons sensitive to light? Are they creatures of darkness, or
they're creatures of the abyss? So they're not even from this plane.
I guess where I'm going with this is if he's starting to manifest in others through his enchantments, then they're taking on qualities of him. Is it possible that sunlight, literally sunlight, like with a vampire, could be something that?
Well, we can go check in on the chef. The chef doesn't often go outside. If the chef also has this cracked sunburnness, then that would
does the chef have this?
hypothesis.
Chef Burnydale? Yeah. No, he's also got the same condition. It doesn't seem to be related to light.
And he does go up onto deck, or sorry, he does go onto deck.
Well, he goes. I mean, it's not like squared away and a prisoner downstairs. You wander
Okay, let's check
upstairs.
with the prisoner downstairs to see if he knows.
Yeah.
The prisoner downstairs?
Or we don't have one anymore. I think they're dead, right?
Yeah, he blew up and took your greatsword with him, as I recall.
Right.
That cat is demanding airtime now.
Attention.
I just stepped away for a minute, but Brooke said that we're on a plane now. I thought we were on a boat.
We were on a train.
Train, yeah.
Now we're on a plane.
Yeah.
Got
If
it.
you look at Brooke's background, it is accurately representing where you are. On a boat. Big old...
Can anyone understand the reference behind me?
That's a Mad Max thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's because it was Norman and Joe John from it, and it's Master Blaster. Now I can change it.
It's cut off, so you can't really...
I know, it's very disappointing. I don't know how to fix that.
It's too bad, really.
I was in fact here the whole time.
Yes. You just needed to have some quiet time, I understand. So, that first night you are having a hard time sleeping, but you think maybe there's still some resistance to the dreams that you've had in the past. But that second night, you are definitely having some dreams which are not normal.
Okay.
And we're going to go into some mini scenes here, which will start with... Who wants to go first? Unfortunately, Norman is exempt from this little mini scene action.
Let's start with Norman.
Well, Norman has a great dream of, I don't know, being back home, being with his friends.
Doing this to Jello molds or whatever he calls them.
Likely.
Anyway,
You're an executive class now, bro.
I love that. Oh, look at this.
Let's start with Turgar.
Okay.
So,
Starting with Terror would be divine.
yes.
Ha.
So you wake up with a start, and you're a bit confused. You know that you've been on a ship, but that feels like a long time ago now. You open your eyes to your surroundings. There's sunlight coming through a window, and it sort of lets you see you're in some kind of cottage. You've got the smell of the hearth. You've got the smell of a rural area, but there's a low sense of old hearth fire, like you would cook over.
Okay.
And you're in a comfortable bed, and there's a form beside you sleeping in this bed.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Nice. Terror.
Oh, sorry. This is not a dream.
You get interested in this dream, yeah.
I'd like to see who is lying next to me.
It is clear with that mop of hair that it is Lyra Toller.
just play it cool, man. Just play it cool.
I'm gonna say, fancy seeing you here.
She gives you that shrug of, like she's not ready to wake up yet.
And I say, wake up, sleepyhead.
And she turns over and says, "What do you want? You know I'm no good until the sun rises further."
Is this a dream?
She opens her eyes and looks at you and says, "No, not anymore."
Well, that's the best news I've heard in a long while.
You gotta spin your top, Dan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. See, when it stops spinning, you know. And she says, "You've got a busy morning. Did you want food?"
Sure. What do you have in mind?
"Oh, I'm sure we can stretch that stew from last night. That should make a good breakfast."
Fine. What would you like to do today?
"Isn't Kraloon coming by? I thought you were going to help him fix the inn."
Who?
Alwyn. And that name rings a bell for you. That was the proprietor of the inn back in Orlane, the inn of the slumbering servant, the inn that burned.
I didn't realize that he was back in town. That's nice to hear.
There's a knocking on the door.
I'll get up and go get it. Open the door.
And you open it. It's indeed Alwyn. He's standing there, hat in his hand, and he says, "Good morning, Tergar. Hope this isn't too early."
No, of course. Welcome. It's very nice to see you.
"Oh, that's nice to see you too." He kind of looks at you like that's altogether too formal for some reason, but you just get that flash of, like, you know, Sure. Okay. It's nice to see you too. He says, so all the men are assembled. I thought, given all you've done, you'd want to be there to help put in the final pieces.
The final pieces of what? Forgive me, I'm still a little groggy here from my night's sleep.
Well, the inn. It's
great.
We've got the last timbers in place. It's just the last roof trusses that need to go in, and then we can put the thatch on. It'll be almost as good as new. Well, thanks largely to you.
Well, I'm not quite sure what I did to think it was really you. And I'm so hardened to hear this. It bothered me so much knowing what happened to your inn, and it fills my heart to know that you're back on your feet.
Well, we couldn't have done it without you, and we're so glad that you and the lovely Miss Tolliver came to stay in Orlane. It means so much to have you near.
Well, it's our honor to be here. This is always going to be a home away from home.
And Lyra gives you a gourd filled with stew and says, here, you can take this with you.
All right,
This will
then.
fill your belly when you need it.
Well, I'll be back shortly.
And she gives you a peck on the cheek and says, don't take too long.
I won't.
And you march with Alwyn back through the forest path into the village proper. And yeah, you recognize these buildings from your time in Orlane. It's an exceptional spring day. It's lovely out. A small mist lies on the ground. And you approach a hubbub of activity, and you can see the inn has been rebuilt. It had been, you remember, it is a smoldering ruin, but now new timbers have been put in place, and the roof is not in place. It is a thatched roof that will come when the final trusses are done, but they are probably about 20 men in place here. And as you approach, they give a cheer. And Alwyn sort of indicates, yeah, he's here. It's great. Eh? And they sort of move into place. And behind the group, you also see a different man that you don't recognize. His ebony skin sort of looks in contrast to others. But they pay him no mind, even with his slight horns coming out of his head, his huge physique. He carries a timber on his shoulder. As he looks at you, he gives you a friendly nod. And says, so all we have to really do, and Owen goes into some detail about moving this truss over to here, and he says, I think we could get it all done probably in under an hour, and then we can start to the thatching.
I make eye contact with the ebony horned figure.
And he makes eye contact with you.
And I say, you.
And he looks back to you with that look of like, me?
Yes, you. I just want you to know, we're coming for you. You're not getting out. We will put you to rest for good.
As you say that, the collection of people sort of laugh with the joke that you've just made. And he sort of does a little, no. And he walks over to you, putting his timber down, this thing that probably weighs about 200 pounds, effortlessly putting it on the ground. And he walks over to you and says, honestly, I don't know where this malice comes from. Look at this village. This could be this peaceful existence. I know it is one of the things that you pine for.
Grazit, you don't know me very well, do you?
Well, clearly not, but...
Grazit, my whole purpose for being is to destroy entities like you.
Well, that is very violent, is it not?
If you had taken a moment to learn a little bit about me and what motivates me, you would know that this window dressing you offer me means nothing to me. But you have offered me an opportunity. You have offered me an opportunity to fulfill my destiny.
And he looks at you and says, well, I guess we'll just have to disagree about that, won't we? With that, your dream seems to fade, and you open your eyes, and you're back on board the ship. You feel the wave action against the ship. Yes, it clearly was something. And you're left to ponder what that dream was. We'll go to George Onderon, who again wakes with a start. wakes to delightful silk sheets and the most cozy bed you've slept in. Well, you seem to always be sleeping in silk sheets these days. This isn't untoward. And a lovely ray of sunshine is coming into the opulent room that you seem to be staying in. And you recognize these rooms. This is the capital. This is the capital back in Ulek. You've been here on occasion back before you left with your adventuring friends, before you left to begin your own tale. You would be here with your father on occasion for court business. But where you're here now, it's a bit foggy. And as you're sort of getting your bearings, an attendant breezes into the room and opens up the curtains more and says, "Lord Jojonderon, you are awake at last. The attendants have all gathered. The parties are all here. It's going to be a marvelous day. What would you like to dress in, the blue or the red?" And he holds out some opulent attire, either of which would be a fabulous choice.
Well, let's have a discussion about it. What would you suggest of the two on a day like today?
Well, half the court's wearing blue, but I don't think I've seen this style of red. I think it's a bit cutting edge. It might stand you apart from others.
And you think that standing apart would be a reasonable goal to have?
Well, it depends what you want to achieve, my lord. That is, of course, not my place to say.
I think if more people wearing blue today, that's a consensus that I'd like to be part of, so I'll wear the blue.
Excellent choice, my lord. And he casts the red off as if it's garbage, and he immediately starts to dress you. And he says, "It's an auspicious day. It's been over a week since Count Palatine Lewin has died, and with no one to take his place, well, I don't know what's going to happen. I pray they make a decision shortly."
Lewin has died?
Why, yes, of course, my lord. That's why we're here.
He was not perfectly healthy last time I saw him, wasn't he?
Well, he's been in some ill health for some time. It was expected that he would pass. Preparations had been made underway for a successor, but as you know, these things take time and the politics of it all, and everyone's got an opinion.
Well, who would you say is the frontrunner to take his place?
Well, he says, "To be honest, Lord, I have been asking around, and I think it has come down to two. Your friend Tergar and another druid, Leoric."
Not me, huh?
"Ah, my lord, but if only you were of the druidic heritage. As you know, in the county, one must be of the line in order to ascend to the throne."
Yes, I was just kidding. Well, shall we move on?
"Indeed, my lord." And he goes on, and he stops and says, "I must share another piece of intrigue with you, Lord, before you continue in earnest. I have it on good authority that Leoric may not be the best choice, and I know that you are loyal to your friend Tergar, but it is said that Leoric has the popular support, but I have learned that he may in fact be in league with demons."
Demons?
"Yes, I do not know much of these things, but I understand that the cult of Asmodeus is in great stead here in Junre, and that he was known to be in attendance to these meetings."
And what would you suggest I do about this?
It's not for me to say, Lord, but obviously if you think your friend Tergar is a better choice, then obviously to lobby for him would be in the best interests of all of the county.
Well, I think I would do that. Say, where was I yesterday?
Why, you were here, Lord, of course.
Interesting. I feel like I've been elsewhere.
Well, it was a long journey to get here from your home.
Right, of course, from my home. Okay, well, let's move on to the next stage, shall we?
He ushers you, after you've been finally dressed, into the main court, where you see a grand hubbub of exceptionally dressed nobles. And you get a lot of shoulder slapping and back slapping, and "Oh, good to see you, Jojon. So glad that you're here. Your counsel will be greatly needed for these pressing times." You're greeted in the realm that you kind of expect and hope for, but you think, this is a little bit tentative. And then finally you also notice that there's a towering, 8-foot-tall, ebony-skinned, well-armored figure in the center of the room. You've heard described by Nimralian in the past as perhaps this Grazit fellow. And
Big guy.
he is holding court of his own, speaking with several people. And as you descend the stairs from the chambers above, he catches your eye and gives you a slow nod.
I give him a slow nod as well. Can I go up and speak with this gentleman?
Indeed, it seems that people part in your wake as you head over. He says, "Joe Jonderon, so great to finally meet you in person."
Well, why don't you tell me what's going on here, big guy?
Oh, well, as I understand it, your friend Tergar is in line for the throne, but I don't think that he's got the support he needs for the vote.
Is this some kind of holodeck simulation you have going on right now?
I'm afraid I don't know what that is.
Why don't you put me back on the boat, Grazit, where I belong? If I can continue on the ship sailing to your ziggurat to seal you in jail forever.
He looks at you for a moment and says, I went to such effort for this carefully planned extravagance. You don't want to see how it plays out? How you would, with Tergar, rule over the county and perhaps the rest of the plain?
Maybe I was being unfair. I do appreciate the little effort you put into this. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Is there any way we can negotiate terms of your surrender to be mutually agreeable to everybody?
My surrender? Occurs to me that you have no idea what I actually want.
Well, what do you want, Grazit?
I want what is best for this plane. It just happens to coincide with the things that I believe should happen here. Take, for example, and he indicates the court, these nobles, all self-interested, all have their own agendas, very little interest in what happens to the common man. And yet, you would ascend somebody else to this throne and the pattern would continue. I would propose to break that. I would propose that there would be actual equality among these people. I mean, you exist at the top of this chain, but there is no reason why you could not be an architect of its development.
Grazit, I don't think you understand the bedrock of our institutions here in whatever this place is called.
The County of Ulek? Yes, indeed.
We've been living this way for hundreds of years. That means something to these people. It might not mean anything to you because you're some kind of demon. But your progressive reforms sound ambitious. But we don't want things to change here. Things are perfect the way they are.
How very short-sighted of you, but I accept that everyone has their own opinion. I welcome your arrival. I trust there will be an interesting development when you make shipfall.
Thank you, Grazit. It was really nice spending time with you.
Oh, indeed. I look forward to our next acquaintance. And with that, the image fades, and again, you have the rocking of waves. Your eyes open, and you're back on board the ship.
I noticed that Tergar's awake.
Yeah, he's also woken up, yeah.
Grazit?
Grazit.
Pretty nice guy, huh?
No. What?
He just seemed like a nice guy. I don't know.
Well, no. What did he show you?
Like, he was just very nice.
Well, of course he's being nice. He's trying to get us to free him.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think he's a bad guy, but I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, so he's polite to you.
Yeah. I mean, he seemed reasonable enough. I gotta say, he was just bang on about something.
Let me guess. Were you trying your diplomatic charms on him?
Well, I was trying, but I think he was doing the same thing. I mean,
He's a demon.
The druids.
Joe John, he's a demon.
I know, but maybe we should look at what people's actions are rather than what you want to define them as.
He's not a person. He's a demon. He literally.
No, but you're not talking about what he's doing. You're talking about
what he is.
What he is, which I don't think is fair. I wouldn't say you're a druid. You're a druid. I would say you're Tergar. You're my friend. You're a nice guy.
I'm actually a half-elf.
Right.
Who practices druidism. Joe Jonderon, I love you.
Yeah, I agree. I'm right back to you, Tergar. I think we should keep.
Just let me. Just like reassure me that when it comes time to kill him, you will.
I will for sure. It's interesting that we haven't actually had a conversation yet. We decided to do it.
Well, I think that was nice of you to do that, and not at all surprising that you would have been the one to do it.
I'm noticing Nima is still asleep.
Nicely done. Well done. She tosses her head in her meditation. Meanwhile, you open your eyes, Nima, in what appears to be a comfortable apartment of obvious elven construction. This is built into a living tree. You recognize it immediately as somewhere in the Silverwood, but this is not something that you're familiar with. It's not a place you've been before. But yet it also has this feeling of home for you, of looking around, you see books, you see scrolls, you see other effects which they have your feel about them. This is your place.
She opens a scroll.
It is a to-do list in your hand. And it reads, review the Encadian histories received from Veluna. The second thing says, double check the cataloging system developed by Percassa.
She throws it down.
Okay. And yeah, it's you don't know where this is, but it feels like something you had a hand in somehow.
She grabs a book off the shelf.
Okay.
What does it say?
It is a history of the Principality of Ulek.
She flips to page 35.
And in the olden days in Ulek, it was said that people put an onion in their belt and walked
She
from
puts
town
it back down. She goes to the door of her home and opens it.
Okay. It opens up into a sort of a sturdy rope bridge, which carves around the side of this massive tree. And you can see that there's a little network of similar rope bridges that create kind of a elven condominium complex, if you will. But there is obviously a very large chamber that a lot of these rope bridges lead into. And there are natural bolt holes letting light into the center of this tree. This is a giant silverwood. You've seen some like it in your travels through the silverwood itself. This is the name of a large forest where you came from. But you are not familiar with this one, and certainly not familiar with the development of this structure, this habitation.
Unnatural, Grezit. Nice try. She walks down the path.
And you enter into a pair of double doors, neatly sort of created into the side of the tree. All done very well. Like, it doesn't harm the tree at all. It's all sort of magically into it. And as you open it up, inside you can see shelves upon shelves upon shelves of books and scrolls.
Great. She grabs one and looks at it.
Okay, you grab the nearest scroll.
Yep.
It is a history that seems to be like a diary entry, and it concerns a region within the country to the north called Veluna. And you have heard of this. It is rare to get these kind of historical bits and pieces, but this is clearly an important find, and you sort of your thoughts jump to how it got here and what this means.
Okay, she definitely reads it in its entirety.
Okay, as you're reading, somebody comes up to you. It's a young elfin woman, and she says, "Milady Nimrilian, may I speak with you?"
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. And she backs off respectfully and sort of paws through a scroll of her own, seemingly biding her time.
Okay. Once Nim has finished reading the scroll and collecting all the information that she finds interesting, she puts the scroll back.
Okay. Part of you thinks about it for a second and realizes these are facts you already knew.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Like these are things that you already knew, but it's been presented in a way.
Fun fact, I'm literally pulling a little Brooke here, because like when I lucid dream, I'm always just like, what did my brain create for me?
Yeah.
What are you gonna, so this is Nim just being like, all right, I know I'm dreaming, like what might my subconscious, in addition to what Grazit might be doing, how might my subconscious be playing along with him? So cool, yeah, she totally realizes that she's not reading anything new, so she kind of frustratingly like drops it eventually, and she turns to her. She goes, yes, what is it?
She says, I just wanted to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this massive, this is just so overwhelming. I never thought that I would be able to be part of something so big. Your ideas, this is revolutionary. I mean, I think that this will really change things.
All right. Is that all you needed to say?
Yes, and just that the emissaries will be arriving shortly. I knew you wanted to know.
So Grazit is wants just to cater to my ego that my intelligence is doing good things to the world, darling. Is that it?
And she gives that
Wags
look
her
of...
scroll at the woman.
she sort of backs off like... And she gives that look of, what are we doing? And then... behind you, a voice sort of grumbles, really, it's not nice to confront the figments of your imagination. What have they done to
Whips around with her scroll still in her hands in that same stance. Grazit, I've had nearly enough with you.
But really, I don't think we've had nearly enough of each other yet, honestly.
Oh, that's so gross.
Listen, I wanted to apologize.
A demon apologizing to a mortal. That's pretty sad.
Well, as we have both learned, you are no mere mortal, are you?
Oh, that is mildly flattering. Do go on.
I have a nature within me that I believe you are more than aware of. You see, demons are drawn to power. There is really nothing else that...
Oh, she has this little click and she feels really bad for Norman all of a sudden. You couldn't have at least pretended for our friend, like not even a little half-hearted pretend.
He looks a little confused and says, yes, well, as I was saying, I have had some time to think about what my actions have actually done in this world and in other planes, being trapped in this prison. You see, time travels a little differently for demons. It has been, in your world, 42 years that I have been trapped in that ziggurat. But for me, it is more like 1,000. And that time period is long even for elves. But for me, it has given me some time to reflect on what it is the nature of being a demon.
She's very interested in what she's hearing. Like, she's immediately like, this is stuff I don't actually know. So she's like, totally listening.
He says, don't get me wrong, for the first 200 years, I wanted to kill anything that brought me to this place. I would have gladly escaped and wrought havoc across all of the lands that your kind inhabit, just for the mere vengeance that I would have been caught in this way. But as I railed at my bonds, as I tried to find a way out, I realized there was nothing that was going to change that. And when you finally accept your position, well, you start thinking, truly thinking. You see, when I live in the abyss, there is nothing but defending yourself against the advances of other demons. If you do not, then you will be torn asunder. So you are constantly fighting, constantly projecting this image of strength. It grows so
Much like
tiresome.
living in royalty, let me tell you, I'm always having to put on the right kind of dress and make the right kind of person, have a nice talk. I hear you about the abyss.
Indeed. Well, you should try living in a prison for several years. It gives you a little chance away from all that. It's actually slightly peaceful when one thinks of it, but...
Well, why don't we just keep you there then? Keep you away from that terrible abyss while also preventing you from wreaking havoc in our mortal world.
Well, you must understand that I am feeling very limited in this place, and I have had a taste of freedom. Although I am still quite well bound, you will be pleased to know, in this place.
That does make me feel pleased.
Indeed. Well, as you know, I have an interest in having you join me there, and perhaps changing this condition. You think that I would, wander across the countryside, blighting and destroying? Is that your vision of what I would do?
You literally snapped someone's neck in front of me.
That was an overreaction. You crossed a line.
We don't go ahead and murder people
I
when we get a little angry.
I regret to tell you that person was already dead.
Oh, that's gross. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm.
Oh, wow, that's a cool little piece that you just gave me. That connects some dots. I like that. That's gross. Really.
You make do with the things that you have at your disposal,
Right.
such as, and he indicates you, says, I understand that you have no reason to trust me. You have no reason to accept that my interest is in fact, effecting positive change in your world. So I make you this deal. I would happily return to the Abyss, because if I cannot effect change in your world, a world that I do delight in, then I would make change there. You see, demons do not change, but yet I feel as if I have. And I cannot change demons to my way of thinking if I am locked in this prison. I've been given a unique opportunity to speak to you and your kind.
You have been tormenting me and my colleagues, causing awful nightmares, not letting us sleep, so on and so forth, and you are to make me believe that you are a changed demon, a kind demon. Please let me out, demon.
Yes, well, as I said, time works differently for me within the ziggurat. When this first happened, that was, well, some time ago for me, longer than you would expect. And I have had time to reflect on how it is that I can actually get what I want. Clearly, trying to dominate you, trying to bend you to my will, that will not succeed.
I'm glad you've realized that.
I am nothing if not intelligent.
I would like to wake up now.
As you will. Please, think upon my offer. And with that, the scene fades and your eyes open on board the ship.
Cool.
Isn't
And
he
with
nice?
that-
Guys, they were dead. Guys, the people in the house that kind of were gray and stinking, they were already dead.
Oh,
Doesn't that put a lot together for you?
well, that means he didn't kill anybody. That just shows Turger. See, he's nice.
No, it is an interesting. He advocated for his kindness. He advocated that he has been in his ziggurat for far longer than he has been entombed, and he believes he's a nice demon, because the books talk about nice demons all the time.
I'm going to try to kill him with every fiber of my being.
We don't think people deserve a second chance, Turger.
He doesn't.
He was talking about some progressive reforms that made sense to me.
He was also talking about progressive reform with me. Now, have you heard of this idea of make swamp marsh great again? Have you heard of that movement?
I was just going to go there.
This idea that all of the good things could be delivered through just one person who has never once shown you that that's actually what their true actions are.
Never ran for public office before.
And you are to believe that despite all their actions prior to, that there's one promise may actually be valid?
Yeah, it does make sense to me too. I think you're right.
All I know is he has great power. And with that great power, he has caused great pain and suffering in our world. And we owe it to the innocent people who can't defend themselves to stop him while we can.
He made other people enslave other. I mean, he talks about reform and that, he used to be thousands of years ago that way, but now he's not that way. Suppose I could have asked him in good faith to remove the curse on every single person he currently has, but now I'm really wielding that power, and I just don't know if I should have that kind of power, It's kind of like the whole ring thing. Do I put it on? Ooh, maybe
What if we
not.
let him out for a week or two and see how he did?
Right, kind of on a bail situation.
I'm assuming Glonda had a similar dream here.
She did, but she'll tell you that when she's back.
Great.
And by the way, being back, maybe we should take a break. It's fine.
I was
Yes.
just about to say, this seems like a natural segue. So we'll come back in 5 minutos. Sweet.
Andrew
And I think everybody wants to know what Norman's dream was.
Oh man, you guys, listen, you're not going to believe the crazy stuff I dreamt about. Okay, so let me start. So picture it. There's like a canoe, like kind of a long, narrow like vessel, and in this giant canoe were three big round. I guess they were like looked like scoops of ice cream or custard, or it was a cold frozen thing. And then beside, flanking the three scoops, were these two giant pieces of a halved banana. So it's like banana, and they have three scoops. And then there was like jam and like caramel and like a brown sweet, like a cocoa-y sauce, just like drizzled over, and one big cherry, just like right in the middle. It was just like I can't even explain how glorious a sight this was. And I was handed what seemed like, I mean, it was practically the oar of a canoe, but it was a giant spoon. So, like, what choice did I have? I started eating. And I got in there, and then eventually, like, I threw the spoon down, and I was just, like, in with both hands, and just, like, sitting in this canoe-sized vessel, and just, like, working my way from one end to the other, like, trying to get, like, a piece of banana and ice cream, and like, yeah?
And where did Grazit show
up? Who?
Grazit, was he like buried in the banana ice cream stuff? He's the guy who gave me the spoon?
Oh, no, wait. Who?
Was Grazit was he also eating?
No, well, that's where I was going with this. I ate the entire thing myself. It was insane. It had to be 4 times bigger than I was, but yet I ate the whole thing. And I've maybe never been happier in my entire life.
No Grazit.
I don't think Norman is seeing Grazit.
Still.
Maybe it's because you're a monk.
Sure, yeah, maybe.
I wonder if we should ask Bluebell to stop, or Yellowbell. Greybell?
Gray.
Oh, yeah, you got
Greybell. Maybe we can ask Greybell to stop trying and see.
Well, I mean, if Norman's happy, you said you're happy, right, Norman?
It's true.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Meanwhile, Yellowbell is kind of whimpering on top of Norman's bag.
I like the idea of Norman not being tempted by Grazit.
Oh, good point.
This guy would lie to you, Norman, and offer you like that actual thing.
I mean, Joe John got close, but Norman would walk into his arms without a second thought.
So I think it's cool you're not being tempted by him. He's a liar.
All right. Okay. Sweet. Why? Do y'all have ice cream dreams also?
Yeah.
No, I just had a.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Great. So what's next?
Well, we're still planning on going to Graz's cigarette and to continuously block him in. He has made pleas, specifically with me, and also it seemed like moderately with Joe John. He didn't try nearly as hard, it seemed, with Terragar, but he doesn't want to be blocked in, but I still believe it's the right path.
It's our duty.
Cool. I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, the death penalty is the death penalty, you know?
Well, it has been. You're on your 4th day. Actually, no, that's not true. You're on your 3rd day of travel. No, actually, let's make this your second day. I'm gonna just say it's the second day. You're halfway through, so that tracks because that's the second night you were sleeping. And there's you hear a hail from the crow's nest. There's something out there. And you hear that, and you hear the track of feet sort of pounding around above deck. I'm assuming you're maybe downstairs. It's early morning. The seas still have the mirror cast to them. And are you guys gonna go up, or are you just gonna sort of
Nim will open up one of her boat windows and launch Petrie out as she does.
Okay. Well, unaided with Petrie, you can clearly see, and you get a sense from what people are sort of yammering about, there is something happening about a mile or 2 miles off to the west. You can see a boat of some kind, and you can see something flying around it, and you can see lightning bolts occasionally sort of shooting out from whatever is flying.
We're not going west, are we?
You are not going west. You're going north.
Right, but the lightning bolts are coming from.
Barely hear you, Dan.
Your
Mike,
audio is all.
There you go.
The lightning bolts are coming from something flying, and they're directed towards the boat.
Correct.
It's not the boat that we recognized that we saw before, the ones that were like, hey, give us a gem and let us move on with our lives.
The dwarf.
The dwarf boat?
stone
No,
boat?
this is more conventional wooden boat, it would appear.
Okay, that's a good question.
Well,
actually.
I'm welcome to fly Petrie out. It'll only take her, 10 minutes maybe to go a kilometer.
Sure.
So it's about a kilometer away, yeah.
Mile.
A mile.
Nautical
mile.
Oh.
1.6 kilometers.
A nautical mile, though, is that the same?
Possibly 1.7 kilometers if we're
Oh,
talking
shoot.
nautical
All
miles,
right.
yeah.
Well, Petrie's a fruit bat. She's
10
a
minutes.
strong one.
10 minutes is still good.
10 minutes.
I buy that.
Flippity flap, flies off. Salwas calls out to Galanda, and Galanda probably goes up to talk to Salwas. And Galanda comes back down. She's carrying a telescope, like a little spyglass in her hand, and says, "Yep, it's a dragon.
Oh.
Looks like a big blue dragon, too. It's attacking some merchant vessel out there."
Didn't know there were dragons in this universe.
Well, they don't call it Dungeons and Dragons for nothing.
Okay. Good to know.
I feel like this. I always want to help. If these people are innocent people and they're being
What
attacked.
What do we know about dragons in this world, or what does Nim know?
That's a great question. I think it's time for our die roll of the evening to find out what Nim remembers from Dragon School.
Okay, what am I
Great
adding
roll.
to this?
You'd be adding probably nature.
Hold on. Is there
22.
Oh, okay.
Would you like Jojandron to roll and see what he
No,
knows
I was
about
gonna
dragons?
see if there's something on my special character sheet that could help her out with the role, but if you don't need to, I don't think
That's great.
you need me to delay.
For future reference, though, I think you might have. Do you have a cantrip? No, you don't have any cantrips.
No.
There is a cantrip that lets you guide somebody to help them, but I don't think you have that one. So, yeah, you rolled really great. It is well known that they are big and powerful, and the larger they get, the more powerful they get. Blue is associated with lightning. It has an ability to shoot lightning bolts. It is probably highly resistant to electricity and those kind of effects. As for why it's here and what it's doing, that's a little less clear, but it's pretty well known that dragons are greedy creatures. They covet the trappings of humanity for reasons only known to them. And your knowledge of it having, if it's the same dragon, having preyed on the dwarven vessel, then this is its current gig. It is preying on the merchant vessels in this area and related vessels. So that is probably what it is doing.
And we know how strong they are?
Pretty damn strong. But you don't, I mean, you haven't encountered a dragon personally, so you don't know. But that is
Like level 7 strong?
big old shrug.
Hey, Nim Aurelian. I didn't forgive my ignorance. I didn't learn anything about dragons at the Gnomish Institute of Technology. Are dragons magical?
They will shoot magical essences things, like this one's an electric dragon, so they're shooting electricity.
Yeah, but electricity is not magic.
I mean, I beg to differ. Can you really explain how these electrons are moving about? Truly, it's quite a feat.
Okay, fine. All right. All right. Okay. So first we have to agree on what magic is, I suppose.
If you mean they're able to do teleportation or curse, I don't believe they have those capabilities.
Okay.
They're more of swiping, biting, and of the physical nature.
General biology type of.
Well, I consider biology to be magic as well.
That's right.
I would so love for this to devolve into a philosophical conversation about magic. I would let the whole rest of the session go there.
Why do you ask?
Well, I am curious to know if we need to defeat a dragon, if that would be done best through, if there is an element of magic required for that, or if, if it is a real creature, like any other creature, that just like, if you hit it with a big enough stick, then bada boom.
Right. Well, again, they can have resistances.
Okay. All right. I'll buy that.
All right. So Galanda looks at you and says, "So, what should we tell Sal?"
Shoot, are we fighting a dragon? Gonna fight a dragon? Everybody want to fight a dragon?
I think we have to.
Cool. Hey,
I mean,
Galanda.
this could be far beyond our capabilities. Potentially. I wonder, is there a spell that we can do to, like, detect that? Like, detect HP, detect Constitution,
no such skill.
saving throw.
Using the spyglass, like how, in relation to the size of the ship, how big is this dragon?
Can we tell if it's young? Can we tell if it's an oldie?
That sounds like a perception check. One person can make it. So choose wisely.
Okay, I could do it again.
Somebody have one of those helper rider. No. All
What
right.
do you mean? What do you mean?
Right, here we go.
You don't need to.
Oh,
19 plus 6, 25.
Okay.
Bravo, you are doing really well there. You get a sense it is almost as big as that boat. So,
Oh, fuck. Pardon my language.
If you were to venture a guess, you would say that it is at least an adult.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but you're not an expert. It just looks big and pretty devastating. Like it shoots another lightning bolt, and the mast of the ship just explodes and flies off.
We can't let these people just die.
Can we see any people? Are there people on this boat? We
Oh.
did a trip before.
Yeah, there are people. They are running around. Some of them have already jumped. Like Nimrilian sees them jumping off the ship, and as you train your spyglass over that way, you see that there are also there are other creatures on board the ship which do not look like sailors. They are sort of. They're not. They're like lizard men, but not lizard men. You can't really. You're still quite a ways away. Spyglass helps, but it doesn't give you great detail. But you can tell that they are also engaging in melee against whatever sailors are left on board.
I feel like I would literally die if this thing looks at me. I'm quite a glass cannon, and I don't know if I want to meet my death by dragon.
Solus also chimes and says, "I don't know if I want to meet my death by dragon."
It might not be up to us. It might be up to the dragon. We might be next. The dragon defeats this ship, and it's coming for us.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to either make the choice to go at the dragon or wait till the dragon?
I don't want to floss my teeth.
Can I clarify too? Are there people that are obviously going into the water that are drowning?
Well, you do not have the spyglass, so that is up to Nemralian to tell you. And from what Nemralian can tell, you don't know what the fate of the people in the water is. You don't have a good vantage point there. You see a launch in the water, but...
Nemralian, does it look like they're drowning?
Just a second.
Oh, yes. By this point, Petrie is over there. It's not going well for these sailors. They are being systematically butchered by these lizard men-like creatures, which, as you now are closer and can see through Petrie's eyes, you do identify them as Kolinth. These are hobgoblins of the sea.
That are getting eviscerated?
The Kolinth seem to be attacking and killing the sailors.
Along with the dragon?
The dragon seems to be there supporting this. Like,
Wow, they're in
Okay.
cahoots.
Yeah.
I need to go. I can't let this happen. I'm going into the water. I'm gonna transform. I'm gonna use some wild shape hit points. I'm gonna transform into a dolphin. I can also be a shark, right?
Yeah.
I believe.
I think
Yeah,
you
but
gave
you
me
did
that.
a
But
shark
it's not.
thing. I
It's
remember
not.
the
It's
shark
not
thing.
in my thing. I think that happened when I was away.
Yes, that's right. We did.
Yeah, we were really proud. We were like, we're getting him a shark.
But I'm not going to transform into a shark because that would freak them out if they saw the shark. I'm going to the sailor's friend, the dolphin,
Okay.
in an effort here to maybe help their ship along if I can and get them out and towards us. I'm going to bring as many survivors here as I can to us.
So
I can't let them die like that.
Okay.
How many hit points is that?
I think it's got 22 hit points for.
I've got 11 hit points for a dolphin. No, I'm going dolphin.
Oh, dolphin. Excuse me.
Yeah, so that's 11 hit points.
Oh, good. You've already figured it out.
Yeah.
Yes, hit points 11. So Dragar's gone.
I
Splish
just
splashing
don't
his way over.
have any way of killing a dragon.
Brooke, do you have any other ideas of what we could do instead?
Sail on.
Solace is like, that's the best idea I've heard all day. I mean, I hate to leave them, but I don't think there's anything we could do for them.
That's how I feel as well.
We've got pressing business to the north.
What is that pressing business?
We've got to get you to your destination.
And why?
Well, you've got an appointment to keep, don't you?
Now, may I suggest something here? A dragon would be a pretty powerful ally against a demon, wouldn't it?
Dragons are greedy. We're not talking about an ant fighting against lizards here.
We're not?
I mean, they're greedy bastards. I
Well,
do
we
like the
could-
way you're thinking, though. If this is round 2,
Unless-
all right, let's go befriend a dragon.
Is this a luck dragon?
Um,
Does it look like a big, cuddly dog with a gross, bubbly underside?
no. Does
No,
not
it's a
look like that.
lightning. It shoots lightning.
Yeah, he said it was a blue one.
Does not shoot four-leaf clovers.
Yikes.
Do you not know what I'm referencing?
I'm afraid not.
Is it Never-Ending Story?
Thank you, Al.
Puff the magic dragon.
Thank you.
Barrett's Privateers.
So
I wish I
how
was in Sherbrooke now.
we've got Tergar splish splashing his way through the water.
He's already gone.
Gliding gracefully through the water.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm a
Nima,
dolphin.
what's your feeling about Tergar already being gone?
Don't feel good about it. How far? You said they're a nautical mile.
Better now, a mile and a half, so like 2 kilometers.
Well, if we're all gonna die, let's go die together. Let's get on a little boat. You know what? If Grazit really thinks that we are going to help get him out of there, then he won't let us die. So let's go fight a dragon.
Well, what if I said the dragon would be a good ally against Grazit. What if we freed Grazit to help us defeat the dragon?
The dragon would most certainly.
Oh, that's the best.
Two wrongs.
I like where your head's at, Jordan. So, by this point, Petrie is well within range. And I'd say probably Tergar making swift movement as a dolphin. You get there in pretty short order. There is now only a collection, like 3 sailors are on a launch, and they are rowing hellbent for leather to the south. They're basically going as fast as their little oars can carry them. And the dragon has actually moved off.
Oh.
Let me move the map to somewhere else.
Do we recognize this boat? By any chance?
No, you do not recognize it, but possibly Glonda might recognize
That's what I mean. Does Glonda perhaps recognize the boat?
Glonda recognize it. Let's make a roll for Glonda.
Which boat are we on the map here? Are we the white sailed boat, and that
Yes.
the blue is the dragon? Okay.
That's correct. Glonda does not recognize this boat, and neither does Salwest. There's a lot of merchant traffic around here.
Okay.
So maybe I can do this to make the map move. Yeah, look at that. So so you're about probably 150 feet away from this launch, Dan.
Mhm.
I don't know what you want Petrie to do, Brooke.
I mean, did you just say that the dragon feels like he's done, so he's just no longer attacking the ship anymore?
Yeah, the dragon has done a final swoop and then starts flying northward towards Fairwind Isle.
Okay, interesting.
Okay. Petrie goes and lands on the launch with the 3 merchants.
Okay. I'll say that Tergar arrives about the same time.
Is there a rope in the water, like off the bow of the ship? Sometimes there might be a rope.
Yeah, they call that a painter.
Okay. Is that at all accessible by water?
Sure.
Great. I'm going to take that in my mouth and start to pull it towards our ship.
Excellent. Let's have you in dolphin form make a athletics check. I don't know if a dolphin has
Let me
any
check.
more.
You want-
Strength is +2. I don't know if that's better than yours. I don't think so somehow.
Strength is +2. Yeah.
So probably about the same.
So I'm doing a what check? Sorry?
Athletics. So you can...
My own, based on my own athletics?
That's right.
Okay, so that is +2. Okay, so let's go back to that. Oh, was that what you're asking was +2? I thought it was strength you were saying.
Well, the dolphin strength is +2. If your strength is better or worse than that, then you'd use
21.
the dolphins. But that's pretty great. You actually tug on that painter pretty fiercely, and the boat gives a surprising lurch. You are definitely adding some speed to this boat, and you hear a shock of alarm from the 3 sailors inside. But when they realize that they're heading away and they're being towed by a
dolphin.
fantastical sea creature, they don't...
A dolphin? They
Well,
would
it
know a
doesn't happen
dolphin.
they would have seen a dolphin, but it's pretty rare that this would be
Sure.
spontaneously.
This is
helpful.
weird.
But they are okay with it because it has taken them away. So, are you heading them back to the boat?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you are making headway back that way.
How do they respond to having a bat and a dolphin?
Of both of those things, they're more interested in the dolphin, to be perfectly honest. Unless Petrie makes a big deal and like dancing and trying, a top hat or something,
She
trying to
doesn't.
get their
She's
attention.
just kind of observing them.
Yeah, they overlook the bat completely when looking like, that's a dolphin pulling our boat along. What the heck is that? Well, I don't care if he's getting us away from that thing. That's all right by me. And then splish splash. It's about 30 minutes later, and you arrive back at the boat.
All right, well, I'll transform back into Terragar as I get to our boat. And I climb up whatever the hell that rope ladder thing is called.
I believe it's called the rope ladder.
Hey.
There you go, thank you.
Snake.
And
Brooke, more awesome.
A serpent tail.
More awesome.
yeah.
A snoodly boop, a doodly dop.
Yeah, you.
Like it.
I transform back into my magnificent Terragar form, and as I climb up the rope ladder, I beckon to the sailors to come on board and ask them if they're okay.
So they start by saying, "Oh, thank God you saved us," and they look at the rest of the crew that is beside you. Their parched, cracked skin and their sunburned visages, and they haven't gotten much better. Like they're starting to openly bleed from these.
Oh no! Oh man!
Body horror, gotta love it. And they start to climb up the Scooby Boot, and they then look and go, you know what, stranger? Thank you so much for your kindness of rescue. But I think we're just going to continue south to the port of Cyber, and see if we can take our chances there.
I don't
That's
think you.
honestly quite reasonable. These people are under the spell of a very, very dark demon. I don't press you at all to stay.
You have our great thanks, stranger. What is your name? What are your names?
I'm Terragar the Wanderer. You may have heard of me. Or not. No, I'm not assuming anything, but Madrude. I do things. Anywho, I'm glad you're okay. And your names are?
Well, I'm Boskin, and that's Ferdinand, and that's Joran over there. We were the last survivors of the Krillac.
The who?
That was our boat, such as it was before that dragon decided to make mincemeat of us.
What happened?
Why was that dragon working with lizard people?
Seconded.
We didn't even see them at first. Those, and mind you, miss, those aren't lizard people. I know these things. Those are Kolith. Those are devious.
What am I saying?
The enemy of the lizard people.
They're not on good terms, as I understand it. He's going to be Irish now, canonically, our Joran. And he says, so all I know is we were minding our own business, doing a supply run back between Firewind and Cyber, and we were coming back, and this dragon comes out of nowhere, lands on the ship, don't you know, tells our captain that he's got to turn over his cargo. Well, the captain was a little bit drunk, don't you know, and said a few things that I shan't repeat here, that the dragon did not take kindly. And that's when all the lightning happened, and suddenly we were under attack by the Kolinth.
Where did the Kolinth come from?
Well, I think they were around us all the time. I think they were trailing us.
Oh, so there was a Kolinth ship.
Well, as I understand it, they just swim underneath the water, and they might have some kind of animals that carry their cargo. But anyway, and as you look back, you see the ship is now sinking beneath the waves. I don't know what we'll do now, but our fortunes are better for having survived it.
Well, we appreciate you sharing your story, Joran.
And I appreciate you, stranger, for sending your friend to help us, I guess.
No, he sent himself. Let's be clear. We did not. Neither of us wanted anything to do with that situation.
What was your cargo on your ship?
Oh, I don't know what they got away with, but it was just food and some spirits. I don't think we were carrying anything much value, but, I mean, I don't know if he'd know that.
What was your captain's name?
Our captain's name was Holbrook.
Hal Holbrook. And did you notice anything strange the last couple days on the water?
This water, I've never seen anything like it with this mirror finish. It's the strangest thing.
Do we know a Holbrook?
No.
Okay.
Literally pulled that out of my bum.
Super dupes.
I'm in his bum.
Great. Thank you for doing an enema beforehand, because it's very clean.
It is pretty clean.
Yeah, as we mentioned, our entire crew is currently under control of the same demon that's actually making the glassiness of the water. So we're on our way to hopefully stop that, but it might be a good idea to not... Yeah.
Sounds good. Good luck with that.
All right,
Thanks,
bye-bye.
okay. Nice to meet you, Joe
Thank
Ron.
you.
Let's go find that dragon and kick its ass. What do you
No,
think,
hang
Chief?
on. Look at the poor cracked skin of our crew.
Is
I feel
this-
awful for them. They're getting maimed.
DM,
Yes.
Is this the same dragon that we saw in the marshes, flying over?
I don't know if your notes reflect that, but that was a black dragon.
And this is a blue dragon.
Correct.
Interesting. How you
So it
keep
could have been
flying
black.
these things over us. You keep giving us glimpses of these
Mhm.
bloody things, but we don't ever get to interact with them, which makes me think something's coming in campaign 5.
The old dragon hunting campaign. What an old tale. Story as old as time itself. So Solace turns to you and says, "Right, crisis over. Everybody back to work." And everybody jumps to, as in.
Does anybody realize their skin is cracking and bleeding? Anybody aware of the discomfort?
I feel like we need to be addressing this. This is upsetting me.
Yeah, anybody?
And Solace says, "These things happen out in the sea. I'm sure it's temporary."
Wow.
Okay, could I cast just as a just to see if I cast Cure Wounds on our captain? What happens?
So, Cure Wounds will heal hit points. This is clearly some kind of condition. He has not taken any damage, which is what Cure Wounds would heal. So
Okay,
I will save
okay,
you the
all right.
casting the spell slot.
Okay, so if I cast Lesser Restoration, what happens?
Okay, that would definitely remove a condition if it was a disease
I'm going to
condition.
cast it on our captain.
Okay. His skin does appear to get a little better. And he says, oh, well, that's very nice of you. I feel a little better, a little bit more energized.
Does anyone else have a spell like that?
I have Lesser Restoration. I can use it on Mopey or Dopey if you'd like.
I have 3 more. I mean, we're going to get another long rest, I think. I could cast that on 3 more.
Anybody who looks like their wounds are really going to cause permanent scarring.
Yeah, I'm going to cast my remaining level 3, level 2, lesser restorations on. So 3 more, I was going to say cast members, but crew members.
Largely. Close, yeah.
And Jojo, how many of those do you have to cast?
Well, I guess 3.
Great. So that's 7, including our captain, who are going to feel better.
Now we're assuming we have a long rest. Is that
Yeah, we've assumed that.
You have 2 more days of travel, so
So
the
we are gonna
logic
get-
presents itself, yeah.
So we
Okay.
could even, in theory, do this again tomorrow, but
Yes.
maybe with 7 others. Glonda doesn't have anything like that, does she?
That's a great question. Looking at her spell sheet. No.
Okay.
and
And,
maybe just for morale, we could put on like a little show for them tonight or something.
yes,
Right,
that's a good idea.
Yes, I think Glonda could hopefully.
To be fair, their morale is awesome.
Oh,
They are
cool.
not feeling, they do not show any signs that this is slowing them down. The closer they get, as the ship progresses north, they appear to be animated and jovial and optimistic. You know, you would expect if somebody had a degrading, debilitating condition, some kind of disease like this, that they would be in bad shape,
Yeah.
but it is not the case. You would almost describe them as manic.
Mhm. So
Super
do we
committed.
do the show or not? Like that's
How many? What's a skeleton crew? Like, how many of them can we almost force?
Well, they
sleep
might
and
become
intercept?
skeletons.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
this-
Be
the
careful.
disease keeps going.
your terminology there, because that
Yeah.
could become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
You suspect that you could run this ship with 6, but
Well,
everything
I
would
think
take
I almost
longer.
recommend that we force the others into leave so that they don't work themselves to the bone.
Okay, don't say that, bro.
I just don't want them to. I just don't want them to just be, withered. I don't want them to crack under pressure.
Good. More.
All right, let's pick our top 6 crew members.
Mopey dopey.
Mopey dopey.
Susan.
Denise Sinclair.
Susan. That's
Hold
hers.
on. We do have a list of them. Hold on. Let's get to them here. Not Sand Ballot. Not Sand Ballot.
He's
Thankfully,
good
is
like dinner.
not
I think he's
Yeah.
gone.
not part of our crew. Yeah, we killed Sand Ballot. Let's see here. It's under a map, isn't it? That we listed them. There's Denise Sinclair.
She
I
gets
just-
a double dose.
Oh, here we go. So
Mopey?
we got. In
Mopey.
fact, our crew are 7. So it's Mopey, Dopey, Dimitri.
Wait, there's 7. There's 7 crew members. We have to just have to pick one.
No,
That
no,
doesn't fit
seven crew members that we are paying for. So we have Denise,
okay.
Gordon, Yulof, who I feel like gets
Beulah
Sally
hasn't had any love this
Yeah, he
entire
hasn't
trip.
gotten any
or
spotlight.
Sally or
I thought we've
Dimitri.
been calling I feel like we've been calling Sally Susan. I feel like
I feel like we thought Sally was we initially thought her name was Sally. It turns out it is Susan. I'm changing it.
that. Okay. So I think
Beulah.
it's fair to say that Beulah is the one not getting this
Beulah.
situation.
Oh, well done, Al.
Okay. Well, let me save you some time. You try and encourage the crew to take a rest, to take a load off, to slow down. They do not take your advice.
we crack a whip and tell them they have to, or else they're not getting paid.
Has less of an effect than you would imagine. If you want to try and force them to, you could try intimidation or persuasion, your choice.
I think we should just let it be, Nima. We
Their
gotta.
their skin.
I know,
it's,
but we-
it's gross.
I think the way out is to lift this curse
Yes, I know.
or this. What is it? It's not a curse. It's a.
Okay, I'm gonna try
An
just
effect.
for fun. I'm
Comes
just
from
gonna
the effect.
try, even though we know it's gonna fail. I want to try dispel magic on Buloff, just because Buloff has not gotten any love, and let's face it, Buloff really, at the end of the day, is the life of all parties.
He's the life of the party.
So I'm gonna
Okay.
try dispel magic on
Okay.
Buloff.
Roll your d20.
I remember that he rolls a 16.
Okay. Is that... I think you can accept that or not,
Me
Dan. Yeah, I don't think that you are obliged to take it.
and I can't roll and then decide.
You have to choose one or the other.
I'll take the 16.
Okay. And what is your... I think you add your... Hold on while we check the rules for Dispel Magic. Dispel Magic.
Let me see here too. I'll look at it.
Wait, Andrew, are they charmed? You said effect.
Yeah, they're
Is it a charm or is
It's
it?
an
He
enchantment.
did say.
Yeah.
He said
enchantment, but that's magic.
It is
so
magic.
yeah.
Okay.
Fourth.
Make an ability check using your spellcasting abilities. So in your case, I think it's Wisdom.
It is, and that would be plus 5.
Plus
So
5?
21.
21. The effect has no effect. Your
Oh,
spell magic
Jesus, Andrew!
Okay, can I use my aura of devotion?
I love it.
My
I
new
love that you
level
melt
thing?
that. That's so great.
that I melted.
Yeah.
Yes, you certainly can, Jordan.
Can I try that with Solwyn?
So you can't. They can't be charmed while you're conscious. While you're conscious. So you're sidling up next to Solwes and maybe another crewman. Can't be charmed.
Are we still on that? Have we changed a day since we did the restoration spells, by the way?
Yeah, you're on day 3 now.
Yeah,
I
okay.
guess it's anyone within
Within 10 feet of you.
within
yeah.
10 feet, right?
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with Solwes. I'm going to give him a saving throw now to see if he resists this effect. He rolls pretty great. So he sort of, as you walk up to him and sort of, I guess, turn it on, I'm going to assume that this is something you could turn on or off, because I can imagine there's a case where you wouldn't want to make it happen automatically. So,
It's
and
kind of
that
like
also,
Superman with his X-ray vision, right?
very
Right.
much so. Very much so. But anyway, he now sort of, with that, succeeds on his ability to overcome this effect. And you see him sort of shake his head and look at you and go, well, that's the strangest thing. And his skin is still sallow, but he sort of looks at it and says, what the devil?
Solwyn, you're okay. You were under a charm, but we gave you lesser restoration, and you're okay now.
Well, I appreciate that. What's been going on? I have a very hazy memory of what's been happening the last couple of days.
That's not surprising. There's a lot
Mm.
of strange magic going on.
Well, indeed. I wonder if it's connected to that storm over there. And he sort of indicates to the north, and you see in the distance sort of a black blob over the horizon. And it is definitely sort of a beeline to where your ship seems to be headed.
What did you cast, Jordan?
My new level 7 Aura of Devotion.
Cool.
No one within 10 feet
Sweet.
of me can be charmed.
So you could walk along the boat and just uncharm everyone on the boat?
Yes.
Well, they would get to make a saving throw is how I'm going to rule that. So how it's technically how it works is if you're in combat and you're near Jordan's character and somebody tries to cast a charm spell, it automatically fails. It doesn't specify that he can cancel the effect, but I am going to kind of rule it that when you're in that aura and if you're charmed, you would then get to roll a saving throw. So that's kind of how I allowed it for Salwas. So yeah, you could wander around and see if you could take away this charm effect.
Do we want that?
I think I'd rather have my crew people with their wits about them than being slaves.
When you put it that way. Are they all healed? Like, are we worried that any of them that become conscious are going to start freaking out? Did we do a good
Well, I
job?
think we did a decent amount of healing. I don't know if we were able to get everyone, but
You
Maybe
got
we'll just
7
focus
yesterday.
on the 7 people or on the 6 people that we healed.
Okay, so you wander by them. I'm going to let them make some saves. And they're all rolled terribly, so none of them appear to change their demeanor like Salvas did.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yep.
Cool
Well, that's
spell, Jordan. Cool spell. No, not the last part. The first part.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's great. It's neat.
I'm glad we got Solus. I was considering using Buffalo or whatever first, but that would have been a waste.
yeah.
Bueller.
Bueller.
Okay, and let's just change his name to Bueller.
His name is Buloff. He doesn't
No.
want it changed.
He is under a charm and he doesn't give a crap.
He hands the spyglass over to he hands it to Joe Jondron because he's nearby. Says that doesn't look like any natural storm I've seen. And putting your eye to that glass, indeed you see it is a tumultuous mass of the darkest, thickest clouds you've ever seen.
It's like the end of Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's a good model.
Or never ending story. The nothing.
I like Ghostbusters actually. I
Okay,
think
damn
it's
it.
a bit more
I
appropriate, but-
overstretched. I really thought that I'd had.
I hate to shoot you down, Dad, but
See the
Oh,
luck
that
dragon.
was really good. That was really good.
Where and sorry, the ziggurat that we're heading towards is on Fairwind.
no, it is on that little islandette to
north of it?
In fact, I can
The green dot. The green.
the green dot underneath that big raging smoke.
I don't see raging smoke.
Maybe if I
Ping
do
it?
this.
Oh, that now there's raging smoke.
Yeah, exactly.
So the green dot there.
Yes, the green dot is where the
That's where we're going.
correct.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's keep going, Solus.
He looks at that and says, I think about 10 minutes ago I would have been fine with going into that. I would have probably been excited to go into that. But now I'm thinking, I don't think this ship is going to make it through that.
Can you get rid of your spell effect?
He's like, I am all ears for ideas about how our ship is going to survive that. Because that is the worst storm I have ever seen.
Hmm.
The demon wants us to survive it so that he can kill us.
Well, as you
on.
put it that way, I think that is a secondary reason why not to go into that storm.
Hold on.
Are you worried about the effects of your crewmen? Like, have a look at your crewmen. How are you feeling about them? Be honest.
I mean, now that I look at them, they don't look like they're in the best of health. I think this is a little bit askance, if you know what I mean. If it were me, I would suggest that we turn tail and go back to Saltmarsh.
Ever the coward. Yes, that's fair.
I am pragmatic to the core.
Okay, so Grazit doesn't want us there now. What happens if we land on Fairwind?
You don't want to go to the island?
If we anchor and just wait to see. Is that dumb?
Why don't you think that he wants us to go there? I'm confused.
If he's creating the storm surrounding his island, it seems like now he's trying to prevent us. Maybe he's having second thoughts about our...
I assume it was just a flex. But you might be right.
You think it's just a flex?
That was my intuition, but you might be right that he's saying if it is impossible to land.
Well, I just wonder that we obviously have not fallen for his tricks. So we're not being played, I think, the way he hoped we would. Those dreams that we just had I don't think they worked the way that he was hoping they would. Any of the dreams that we've been having haven't ultimately worked. Jojo, he wanted us to think that you were maybe going to kill me, and there was some really nasty stuff that he was doing to us that I don't think's worked, and I think he's really smart. And I wonder now if he's having second thoughts about our imminent arrival.
The one thing that you do that does give you pause maybe on that is that the rest of the crew is still super excited and committed to the idea of getting that boat to where it's supposed to go.
So maybe we just need to convince the captain to keep going.
Well, can you remove your remove charm?
Just steps 10 feet over there.
Well, what happens if I say to him, Andrew, there's 4 platinum pieces in it for him if he him personally, if he keeps going north.
I love that idea. It sounds like a persuasion check to me. Bribery.
Oh, shit. But I'm not good at persuasion. But
that's all the better the reason that you should do it.
What am I? I'm -2. So whatever. Does anyone have anything they can give me?
Oh, this is
on
all
this?
you.
I have a +7 persuasion.
No, but it's my idea, unfortunately.
Bribery is beneath
Jojo.
you.
Wait, do I have inspiration
You
still?
do still have inspiration.
So I can do a double roll on this,
can
right?
Roll at advantage, yes.
Thank you. We're actually fucking figuring this game out, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 15.
15. He looks at it and he looks at you and he's contemplating it and going, well, it wouldn't be the dumbest thing I've ever done. I mean, it's a tough storm. If we made preparations, maybe it wouldn't be so bad.
Trust me when I say you're going to be 4 platinum pieces richer, and we're getting through that. The entity that's creating that storm wants us there.
All right. And he looks at you and trusts you and says, if you think that we can do it, then.
Oh, and because I'm forgetful, I'm going to pay you now.
Oh, that's
4
nice.
platinum.
And he looks at the crew and says, listen, between you and me, I don't have to tell these guys to do anything. They're already doing it. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm in.
All right, so if there's any human rights complaints lodged on behalf of their treatment, you're the one responsible.
I'll do the paperwork, don't you worry. And with that, the ship sails on towards a dark and brewing storm to the north. Which is, I think, a good place for us to leave it for the evening.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Thank you, DM.
Thank you, players. It's been delightful.
That's a
And
great
I will
visual
have
at the end.
have another wine when you go by through again the cabin. Thank you.
It does. I actually love that background.
Background is so good.
Is that a Zoom background?
I just found it on Google and then put it.
That's
in the
great
background.
because it actually
It's
got a
literally
watermark
got like
on
a watermark on it.
Oh, I
No.
didn't. I actually didn't even spot that. Like it could be you, and yeah, that's nice.
That's great.
Really nice weather.
Tune in next time.
Yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Woo!
Andrew, that was